Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing, so y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, guys, I got some disturbing news, especially for me, right? And I'll start with this. Other day I just asked my lady, just ask her, say, hey, babe, who's my favorite fighters? You know, to see if she kind of been paying attention a little bit. And she said, well, she said that guy from New Zealand. She didn't really forgot the name. That guy from New Zealand and that skinny guy. And then she knew his name. She's that Wilder, right? So she said the guy from New Zealand, because she had forgot his name, and the skinny guy, Wilder, Deontay Wilder. And those are two of them. My favorite fighters. Now, you do know I talk about these Negro League fighters a lot, but a lot of times, just because I'm talking about them doesn't mean they're my favorite fighters. It's just like, hey, I'm going to have the back of people who are being mistreated. That's the reason I come on here and just talk for free, right? Because they're being mistreated. And it's very important that people are saying something about that, whether you're a heavyweight in the business and doing it or not, right? It's just important for some things. So I just, I'll take the time to do that. Just not much. And that's enough to bring me to another point. When I'm not answering the comments and stuff like that, when you do this, you don't really have the time to keep staying around and keep doing that. If you start being in there a little bit too much, then you're going to be wanting to be compensated for it. So it's not a thing of arrogance or not talking. Well, the people that are just, when you get my age, you kind of know when people are just, they're stuck in their ways and they're not, going to be reasonable regardless, right? That's a hate there. Then they ain't getting answered anyway. Because it's just what, a lot of people, when you'll do a video and tell them things in your video, and they'll come and write a comment as if they didn't even listen to the video, and a lot of stuff you're proving, and they still write something totally different. Who has time for that? I sure as hell don't, right? Maybe 20-something years ago, but now that's ridiculous. Bottom line is this. I got bad news about my man, Joseph Parker, right? Joseph Parker, I roll with Joe. I'm going to say that from the jump. I roll with Joe. I think he's a good fighter. I think he's a good person. I don't know him. New Zealand, I think is just a pretty, I don't know. I'm going to go there, matter of fact, and soon. Because I just, I had a partner that went there, loved it. And I just think the people, from afar, seem to be very respectful, tight-knit people, respectful. And, I'm just hoping that, because a lot of times you get disappointed, especially as a black person, and to find, racism places, right? That's why I don't follow a lot of people further than what they do. Like if you're a boxer, I'm going to follow you on boxing. I don't go to your Instagram and know what you do private because I don't care. People that are actors or other athletes, I don't follow none of that. Just what you're doing. When you're on the floor as an athlete or on the pitch or something, then. But what you do privately is none of my damn business because I'm from the none of your damn business generation. You all right? We didn't, we wasn't even reached. I'm old enough to know what a telephone answer service is when they first came out. Okay? Probably telling too much there. But, so we wasn't reached. Now it's a whole different thing. You don't answer somebody now on some Instagram or something, they probably get upset. So I don't roll like that. But the bottom line is I roll with Joseph Parker. From afar, I think he's cool. But Joseph Parker's in big trouble right now. And it has something to do with drugs. There seems to be a drug ring going out in Las Vegas somewhere to New Zealand. And it's about meth, I think it's crystal meth, but it's methamphetamine. I'm not versed in that. So he was supposedly bringing it back and forth from New Zealand, from Las Vegas. Now, his name hasn't been mentioned. This has been going on for 2 years. And his name wasn't mentioned because they suppressed his name because he was not guilty. So they suppressed it for a 2-year period. Now that expired yesterday, and now we know. So he's involved in that. We don't know if he's guilty or not, right? I'm hoping, of course, that he's not guilty, right? So let's just see. I just want to bring that to the people, right? Because his lawyer says, his lawyer's name is Mike Heron. And, we didn't want nobody, the sponsors, to hear anything about that because most of the time you're going to be guilty through association. And my last Joseph Parker video, I was just talking about that. It was his new trainer Andy Lee, who I found out was a second cousin from Tyson Fury. And what did I say? I don't really like that. That was one of the cons. Was I don't like that he's too close to Tyson Fury, right? Because Fury does a lot of stuff. So that was kind of a guilty by association thing that I didn't want him to have nothing to do with. So this kind of thing, when your name gets mentioned, you're a high profile person and people are going, you're guilty by association. Let's just hope that he's not guilty. But I'm going to say this, though. If I wasn't rolling with Joe, from the information that I've gathered, right, because I've definitely read up on it, I would think he would be guilty, right? From what I've read, I would think that he would be guilty of this. Now, having said that, even if the dude is guilty, I would still roll with him. Because it would be like, I bet you learn your lesson and something going to probably happen to him, you know. But it's not like I would drop him. Because everybody in sports and everybody is messing up all over the place. Look at the people that are politicians. Our politicians don't even get drug tests, for example. Then they make decisions on our life full of coke all the damn time, right? And not get. Why do we drug test athletes and not politicians in the first damn place? They supposed to have drug tests first, and I'm talking about weekly and you know, random. Those are the ones. But an athlete. Lance Armstrong was dope. Damn it, Lance Armstrong was dope because everybody that's cycling, in cycling is dope, and the sponsors know about it. And nobody said nothing about the sponsors. Just the people that's driving. You ask me to drive 200 kilometers up a hill, you damn it, and then to get back on the bike tomorrow, yes, I'm dope because the dude next to me is dope. What, so Lance Armstrong's drugs was better than everybody's? It's a lot of hypocrisy and stuff like that. If we're going to have people being doped in the first place, it should be politicians first. Then we should get the athletes down because that's just entertainment. That's another story. Bottom line is this. I would still roll with Joe. Simple fact, I wouldn't drop him. I'm the kind of person you get opportunities by me until. Now, I do have a mechanism. I'm glad God gave me this. Once you go too far, it's probably by your third chance that I can cut you off. And when I do, I'm a forever guy. Right? You get cut off forever. That's it. But you've had a whole bunch of chances. You would know why. You won't even complain. You're like, man, this dude is just accepting me regardless of what I do. So when it comes to Joseph Parker, this would be a big mistake. This would probably, I don't know, be career ending, but it would take some years off of that career if he's found guilty. Let's hope he's not, right? But from what I read, it sounds like he could definitely be. But I'm gonna hope for the best, and I'm gonna roll with him regardless. Let's hope he can just fight and concentrating on that. But right now, you got to start worrying about the sponsors are going to believe you, if they're going to jump off and all that. So that fight against Chisora, that's not only in early May, Joseph Parker probably should barely be a favorite in that fight now because he has a whole lot of things to think about. This is disturbing, but I had to say it anyway. I'm going to still roll with Joe. Good luck on this one, Joe. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.